intend to offend, we will offend. And if you have a delicate sensibility, click the X button in the corner, or if you're on a Mac, the red button in the left corner. Monty, welcome to the show of offending people.
Well, it never happened and I make shit up. So just, for the last couple of weeks, everyone that has asked for a reading, apparently you're all from Scotland, from Hurley in Scotland. You all live the same lives. It's very metaphysical, because we're all one. And I can't read the Akashic Records. I don't even have a card.
Meow.
Hey-yo.
Meow. Meow. Welcome to another adventure into comedy. I am joined by my comedic co-hosts, Montesaurus Dean and Bruce the Don McDonald. Welcome to the show, guys.
Just a quick
Bueno, gracias.
I'm not allowed to show my. Oh, there we go. It's like I was being told you can't show your video. Oh, bullshit. that great. There's a meme of Jason Bateman. I don't know what it's from, but it's like the fuck you are. And it's like that's being used a lot nowadays.
Exactly. Now, everyone, we have our usual suspects here, and my stupid Windows bar. I hate Windows. All right. Now
talk nicely to it. Talk nicely to it.
No, I will not talk nicely to a Windows computer ever again.
You're good now.
It's a bondage computer.
Oh, is that the new BDSM Windows?
Yes, exactly. Now, everyone that is here, we have our usual suspects here. As I'm looking down the list of people here, I don't see anybody's new name. I see all of our people that are here. Now, I don't have to warn you, we intend to offend, but if you are listening on the archive, this is a comedy show. This is not about you talking about baby raping lizard wizards. This is not about sessions. This is comedy. Yes, every now and then we may not be telling jokes 24/7, 365, and it may sound serious, but usually we intend to take the piss out of the subject matter as we go on. Now, when is the last time I asked anybody in the audience, you stood up and talked for 2 straight hours without a break?
Yeah.
Okay? When? Never.
And be funny.
And be funny for the entire 120 minutes. Okay? So,
name anyone who does that.
We are going to ask our incredible audience that is here right now to write your country's special, unique swear style. In Greece, they like to use the Virgin Mary in many unique acrobatic sexual positions. We want to know about your swear language. We are starting the show today about the colloquial use of swear language and how it has some really positive effects on the community.
Well, in Australia, we use swearing as punctuation.
So, Patrus, can you translate La Madre de la Chading? Whatever that is, your mother did something. So another Greek one is Malaka.
Yep, I heard that down here.
Which means masturbator. Or
wanker.
Molakia, the one that masturbates everyone else.
Hand job.
That's also a very affectionate term.
Oh, yeah. Here in Australia, the term cocksucker could be used as an insult and a term of endearment.
Yes, exactly. Especially like when you just beat somebody in a competitive match and they go cocksucker. They're not insulting you. Yeah, you just beat them.
I was going to ask for an example, but I guess that'll suffice.
So, Bruce, what were your parental swear things that their family used for swear worded?
Okay, so my old man was an artist with profanity. My brother and I, at the age of 9 and 10, were pulled off the basement refinishing job with him by my mother because he got 3 warnings and he didn't stop for 3 weeks. And I mean, I can't even repeat it on air. He was just an artist.
Yes, you can. We can swear all we want here.
Because it's educational.
Yes.
Would concatenate them into a litany, and it would go 30, 60, 90 seconds. goddamn cock-sucking fucking whore of a fucking plywood and fucking
Yes.
and it would just go on, especially when he wasted material, right? He made good money. He probably should have just got a professional to do the basement. But me, my brother, and him did it. The ceiling was the worst, holding up the gyprock. And then, okay, another interesting thing about Canada is the Quebec swearing, okay, because it's all like religious iconography, right? Tabernacle and stuff like this. It's very, 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 very sort of Catholic. Tabernacle is the I think it's the altar in the Catholic mass and things like that. But yeah, dude, I'm a master of profanity.
There's an Australian, well, I guess it started Australian. Well, I don't know where it technically comes from, but fuckwit seems to be very Australian, where it's just an upgrade of halfwit. And fucktard is a new one that's popped up in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
A fucktard was common here in the mid 90s.
Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah.
we're on the edge
I'm saying I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. And Midwest is always 10 years behind or 10 years ahead of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it doesn't matter. It could be anything from toothpaste to cars. We're 10 years behind in toothpaste, but 10 years ahead in cars.
Yeah.
Over here, the big thing is son of a bitch, hijo de puta. Hijo de puta. And that's about as bad as Spanish swearing gets. I don't know why. It's just hijo de puta. And if anybody knows more than that, please let me know. But that's about all I know right now.
Well, Steve Hughes shares the famous Australian proverb when he's doing his stand-up, which is "fuck off, you cunt." So.
Yes. Now, the infamous C word or K word, whatever you want to do. Now, some years ago, I believe I was on a Blog Talk radio show. I don't remember what it was. And I let the CK word go. And I heard this like hissing silence coming from the chat room, the audience. And because it was a bunch of British people. Yeah. And you can't use that word there. Like I use the cunt word all the cunt all the time. Okay. I remember calling my brothers cunts. My mom would always take serious effect whenever she heard it in the distance, like, you're a dude, you're like Mike, you're a dumb cunt. We're playing baseball or something like that. Stop saying that word. But I'm saying it to my brother. Even worse.
Yeah.
Now the reaction that I got, because the person that was interviewing is like, and because now the science like, so it was the cunt word. Is that what it is? And the guy comes on. Yeah. We Britain take that one very seriously.
Yes.
Well, I was referring to the 15 multidimensional beings being cunts. I wasn't calling you a cunt.
But the word itself is just very offensive. Like Australian polite society, it's not said, but the 80% that aren't polite, we say it all the time.
So what makes them feel upset about that word?
It's just, well, I think it's actually
excellent.
I was watching a documentary on is it James who did the King James who did the Bible, whatever, and that
James.
stuff, and old Jimmy,
and
because he was a witch finder and all that bullshit, and I'm watching. It's on the ABC. It's government funded television show, and of course it's British. The BBC type level, like, oh yes, we're talking about religious programming today, and there's a scene because they did a dramatization, and the Reverend says, but you can always spot a witch because they have a mark on their face or on their cunt, and I nearly just it's like, but it was used sort of like correctly in that sort of like thing, and I'm like, well, this Christianity took a turn for a worse, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that could be why if it was taken from that sort of heavy religious thing and then turned into, it's like, I know we're swearing, but I can't say the N word because reprisals. But every time I say N word, guess what word you're thinking? So the power
N word.
Yeah, Nigerian.
Exactly. So yesterday I had a caller call in, and I had roasted her twice, and she said I used the cunt word on her on one of her aspects, and
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember, I don't know, maybe back in 2016, 2017, I started identifying people like, so if you are the cunt, the physical you, I will say cunt with a C, and if an aspect of you is a cunt, it'll be a cunt with a K. Okay, okay, so that you can understand what's you just being a cunt and what are aspects of you being a cunt.
Yeah. Well, in the chat they mentioned fanny. Now it's quite interesting. In America, it means bottom, but in Australia, it's vagina. There's only an inch
Ah,
apart.
Right. And crumpet,
ah.
tea and crumpets. Here in America, it's like taking a break and having your tea and crumpets. It's actually a sexual process in Britain.
Well,
Getting
it's
into somebody's
actually
vagina. Yeah.
well.
Australia's
It also is having food, but the all nice bit of crumpet that is. But the fascinating thing is, we here in Australia we call them bum bags, but in America, oh, a fanny pack. Why would you have a cunt bag? What the fuck is that?
Exactly. Why do you have a cunt bag? Okay.
Yeah, and no, it's a fanny pack or a bum bag, and everyone wears them in the front.
I gotta bring a ruling in on that, Monty. I think Australia is tainting the language.
No, it's
It's
just
cunt,
Australian.
it's cuntifying the language.
It's Australian.
Well,
It-
I believe that's the geography between the anus and the vagina. I thought I was getting pretty clever there, but I'm on another level. You guys just don't get my humor.
yeah.
You've tainted the language, Monty. Tainted it.
Well, I know is it a perileum or whatever, the other word. So.
I don't know what that is.
A taint.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Skin between, as Robin Williams said, who designed the human body? You've got a fun park right next to a recycling, recycling park.
Yeah.
Now, Italian swearing and Spanish swearing is almost like poetry. And
Yeah.
there's a cadence to it, and there's an operatic value to it also. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because it's Latin based? So I'm sure the
Yeah.
Romans.
I don't know, but like when you hear them go on like that, it's like, damn, that's poetry. It's swear poetry.
Yeah, well, the arm movements and the flicking of the teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe this is some years back. This is before I went public. I went and did a stand-up a mic moment, and I was doing some slam poetry, and I was trying to incorporate as many swear words as possible. And in the beginning, I got booze, but I just kept hammering down the different words. And after a while, it was when you get that right poetic flow of swearing, that was the cheering came. And
Yeah.
the next time I felt that energy is when I gave people the homework to do a revocation, a swearing revocation, one that
Yeah.
purposely uses swear words. And there were 2 or 3 that just blew the heck out of my mind. And if I don't have my other computer. Robert, would you have any of those swearing revocations? Because I don't have them on this computer.
I still have to do mine. It's on the shelf of things to do, but my plan is to write down as many swear words as possible, and I need a framework for the revocation. And it's like, I remember that show where it was like 4 or 5 people did it, and the way instead of what's a normal way of starting a revocation? It's like
I in their present moment, yeah,
and it's like one of them was like, motherfucking I am the mother.
I am in the motherfucking moment of now.
Take you cunts into the court of equity and shit on. And it's just like,
yeah.
8
but
mile
I can understand.
revocation.
Yeah. Now, actually, now sometimes it's referred to as cursing.
Yes.
Is that from a different time / magic, or is it just you can't say these?
Good question.
Or you can't say these words because they're actually from the way that you used it for the swearing revocation. It's actually a release of energy,
right.
and not doing the stink eye and all that bullshit. But it's like I need to release this energy because I'm frustrated.
It could be that, or back in the day where the church had so much control, these words are considered cursing, and you'll go to you'll will go to hell for saying it. If you pay an extra $100, you won't go to hell.
Yeah. Good balance of that. It's like, you do the wrong thing, you can go to hell. But now, this week, 1 week only, if you pay 300 shekels, you and your family will get a better seat.
Exactly.
I believe those were called indulgence taxes. And they're bringing them back in big time now with the taxes on cigarettes and alcohol and gasoline and all of these sorts of things.
Oh, I just remembered Ren and Stimpy. They had the Royal Canadian Yaxman song, and they actually censored hell and said heck.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you hear some really weird self edits of people not wanting to swear, and old Biden's great on that.
I like John Cleese when his kids started to swear. He wasn't upset that they were swearing. He was upset they weren't being imaginative. It's like if you just say the same thing, and I can't remember which movie it is, but there was one character that was swearing every line, and for the first 20 minutes, and then the villain says, like, you don't swear all the time. You're taking it. If you use it so much, it loses power. and he gives like a language punctuation type of lesson to it. It's like, if you don't use it that much, when you drop the F-bomb, it really, the daisy cutter type thing. But if you're using it constantly, because like, remember when Eminem was on the Grammys and most of it was Morse code?
Oh, yes, exactly.
Beep, 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 beep.
Robert, are you there?
Yes, I am. I was looking for something that we have in printed form. I know the show, there's a show where we were doing that and the rapping and cussing. And Sean shared something for it with us.
Yeah, that's the shit revocation. Bruce, you should read that one because you said you were going to be doing a cleanse.
I've eaten one meal in 3 days.
Yes, remember, life is better after.
Yeah. I do an intestine cleanse a couple times a year. I find it one of the best things you can do for yourself. May sound odd for a guy smoking a big Churchill stogie, concerned about his health, but yes, indeed.
So, Robert, the one I'm thinking was done by Gabriel. And then there was another one that came after that. It was all in the same show.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking in. Not seeing anything yet.
He's a comedian, Australian comedian. He's very popular here. I don't know if he's gone worldwide, but his name's Carl Barron. Very, very intelligent, but being a comedian, half his stuff is brilliant. Other half I can just deconstruct. It's like, why do people do this? Like, one joke that he has is like, why do people point their toe when you're scratching your ass? And then, people laugh, but my brain just goes, so you can get your finger in, dickhead. But he was pointing out Australians have a very interesting way of swearing. Like we sound insulting, but we're being, quite nice. It's like you meet someone you haven't seen for a while. Get fucked. How are you? Sounds like we're trying to engage in courtship, but no, it's just being matey. Bit of mateship there. Oh, fuck off, you cunt. I won Tatslotto. You fucking ass.
Exactly. Now, to delve a little bit deeper into the nature of swearing, and I want you all to remember your early childhood where you didn't swear, and then you felt that freedom you could swear. And then there was a moment you were caught by your parents, and they said you're swearing like a sailor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember the first time you let a real accidentally on purpose swear word go towards your parents? And see their reaction. Their little child has grown up, lost his innocence. I remember that moment for my mom.
I do remember where I had a swearing phase where I just swore a lot for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if, background consciousness of he's not working out his stuff, so we'll just slip in all these words and like a pressure cooker, just diffuse the information. But doing the radio show for 5 years, I just sense it, and I try and do it off air because it's like that classic thing of why are you turning on your indicator or blinker when you're turning into your drive? It's just repetition, so you don't have to think about it when you're driving, and so blah blah blah. But I try and censor that in real life because I don't want to drop the F-bomb because in a way I can, the powers that be. Oh, hello. Time travel. Welcome to time travel. We're back at the show. The last
Still
20
working.
minutes didn't happen. For my, because it's the Capone with taxes, and we'll take down this radio station not because of the ideas you're sharing. It's because you said you had a potty mouth. So
yeah, you had a potty mouth. That's why we're taking it down. Exactly.
Yeah. See, I think you're fine because it's like you're not you chose not to monetize. And so you don't care if like we would have been demonetized about 3 minutes in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like when you got to the third cunt.
Well, monetization doesn't matter anymore. The last YouTube creator letter they sent out is they can any video that they want, they can choose to monetize and not pay you at any time that they want. Not to mention they don't give a shit as us as creators, content creators anymore. That's essentially what the last content creator YouTube letter said. It's a big fuck you, bitches.
Yeah. Well, I'm my YouTube's my main one, but I'm also uploading to Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute. So I've got like second channels or whatever. But obviously, I'm not going that route where I'm sort of creating products and sort of doing it that way. So I'm not really that phased. Mind you, knowing me, I'll probably get monetized, and then a week later, my channel, because I'm not noticed. And so by the time they notice me, he's like, "Oh fuck no," and remove everything.
Well, remember, they look at your videos of the past, everything you've done for the last
I know
7 years.
At this point in time, I cannot go live on Facebook because I think I've got a 60-day ban because I put up a tweet, a meme from January. It took them 6 months. And strangely enough, it was a photo of the Nuremberg trials, and they're all wearing sunglasses, and it says, when our memes are shown in court. And of course, that went against their community standards. Like, oh my God, it's like, it's a fucking joke.
Well, the heuristic doesn't think it's a joke.
Well, actually, the whole thing is a joke as well. So.
Oh, speaking about heuristic, the other day I was watching an update on the Blizzard Activision lawsuit for sexual discrimination. So it's like gaming news.
Yep.
And one of the guys that I watched, his name is Bellular, he said, for a moment, I'm going to talk to the heuristic about the heuristic because there's certain words I can't say or the heuristic will demonetize us or take our channel away. So they spoke directly to the heuristic about the heuristic in a code format to indicate to you they're talking about the heuristic that was intending to take news away. It was really funny, really intelligent too. And if anyone doesn't know what the heuristic is, it determines what you see and what you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like April last year, YouTubers stopped saying COVID. They started saying coof because of the
wow.
So it's not jab, it's stab now, and a lot of the right wingers are going, I don't want to stabby stab now.
Yeah, Jabberwocky. I heard that one.
Jabberwocky, yep.
Sleeve as well. Yeah, so they've gone code, and like instead of Pfizer, it's the Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, or Mackay Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you could have an argument of like, oh, you're acquiescing. It's like, no, we're trying to survive. We're human. We adapt. There's a
they call the
one secret of life is compromise.
Yeah, vaccine is the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also it's not, of course, it's not black and white because there's something, people are dying from something. It could be misnamed. The medical side of things, they rushed it for a cash grab, and then on top of that, you have the political / government response, which is completely overblown. Like here in Victoria, where we shut down 8 million people because there was 8 cases.
Wow.
Yes. Brutal. Well, you're the extremist government that's showing the extremes of how government can run its people. So you're like a brand of the globalists, or like the more extreme, and they're all taking all the data from your extremists and trying to reapply it to other places.
Yeah, and it's interesting where because certain people are still stuck on the primal fear of death. Like everyone's going to die. Like, yeah, we do that again and again and again, but it's a different conversation. But our famous leader, you know what Führer is in German? If you translate it,
Father.
No, leader.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
I thought it was father.
Oh no, that's Vader.
Really?
I see. We need a German in here to find this out, but I thought Führer. Well, no, Führer is actually leader, because you can hear Oppenführer, which means leader of whatever. So that wacky Deutschland. Why did I bring that? Oh yes, our Führer, our leader Dan Andrews, before the shutdown, cuck down, whatever you want to call it, down. He actually had signed on to the Belt and Road Initiative with China, but finally, China. But finally, don't trust China. China is asshole. The federal government shut down that deal. It's like, well, yeah, good. It's like, really, you can see what he's doing now, where he's locking down and everything. And he actually, I may have mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. When there was the protests a week or 2 weeks ago, the Freedom Day protests, like he was at a press conference saying, and he got to the end of his rant, I don't even know what they're protesting. And the journalist goes, you. Well, fine, they can do that. It's like, are you that out of touch? You don't realize why people are protesting in a lockdown.
Yes, they are that out of touch. They are that out of touch. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the transparency.
Actually. Yeah.
It's like, he's not a dictator. He wanted to work with the Chinese commies. Fuck.
Zero.
So, Ender, I did find the swearing revocation video and got the first guy queued up who did it really good.
Yes. Can you play that? All right, everyone, sit back, relax a second, and just take in this swear poetry.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Once again, if you have delicate sensibilities, hit mute.
Definitely.
This is a powerful teaching of how swear words can help the spiritual person move forward. Go ahead, lay it out.
All right, here it goes. Summer solstice invocation. This motherfucking I am calls to the fat ass energies of the fucking hot ass summer solstice to bring its lazy ass dog days of summer power and potency to the reading of this invocation, with the full fucking potential of transmuting the emanating energies of the now. I say unto you, hot ass summer solstice, this motherfucking I am surrenders, gifts, donates, abandons, extricates, alchemically dissolves, spiritually delineates all negative habit patterns and behaviors that no longer serve this I am or have injured this I am on its life walk. I hereby close all back doors, nail the turds shut. I lay a brick wall in front and behind the door, denying all celestial services to each and every piece of shit that utilize these back doors. Before the fucking back doors are permanently closed for all eternity, I put out the 3 sisters of shame, blame, and guilt, including all the fucked up habit patterns they perpetuate, amplify, and reward with instant gratification. I deny the fucked up ass sisters and all their bullshit space and time equations in any frequency of time that this motherfucking I am or a particulate fractal of this I am has, is, or will ever exist on. In every dimension, timeline, phase of existence that this I am has, is, or ever will fuck shit up in, on, or around. I call to the transmutation powers of the sun of this hot ass day to invoke my damn rights as a being on a life walk, awake and aware of the fucked up impositions I have inherited. I reject the fucked up impositions and return them to their creator so that I may find remedy and resolve. If their dumbass cannot extricate their head out of their ass and figure it the fuck out, this motherfucking I am is out. Outside of their bullshit time-space equation that made a feeble attempt of planning my lifetimes, one after another, in a piece of shit attempt to relinquish the unvanquished dreamer of peace. They thought they had it all figured the fuck out. their dumbass thought they had played every fucking move in the book, but they are too stupid to realize that this I am speaks of is not in a book, but in a heart space awareness. Their ass has spent every moment trying to outmaneuver all that has been created, but the unvanquished dreamer ceases to stop dreaming, eternally outcreating the creation, adding more pieces to the puzzle, extra spaces to the game board, variety to life. Their ass even thought hitting the reset button would fix this fucked up mess. Wrong again, dumbasses. What they failed to understand is that perfection is never perfected. And it is that fucking imperative their stupid time and energy would have best been invested in. Attempt to have existed impeccably and stop to smell the roses along the way. That is, unless their ass backwards DNA skin suit has allergies. In that case, they're just fucked. From one fucked I am to another, I say unto you while I leave you no vestiges in any time-space equation. You too can lay your burdens before the fucking fat-ass sun on this hot-ass summer solstice and declare your freedom from all impositions. Let the solstice energies transmute those motherfucking pieces of shit into life force energy so that we can all release the bullshit burdens and enjoy our life walk with the fucking power and potency of the solstice energy themselves in the now. Aho, motherfuckers.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
Power fucking words. Robert, if you fast forward a little bit, there's another one where a gentleman does it's more of a rap style.
Yeah, let me find that really quick.
Yeah.
I think exo politics would be so much empowered by swearing. Or, you know, when we're allowed to leave the planet, be ambassadors for the galaxy. And we're telling the story of what happened here on Earth. And you have Australian ambassadors. Yeah, so anyway, these are Ryan cunts, right?
Exactly. These Ryan and Syrian cunts came here. And then the Orion and Syrians raise their hand. Could you please translate cunt? We don't understand the nature of this word.
Yeah, and then you do, and they go paler. Oh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and these Nordic fucks. So it's the power of swearing, but it's also, you know, you're going to hell. It's like, no, I think I even get the impression that the prime creator is like, well done, sir, good release. Because, yeah, how long's this experiment been going on the planet? What, 52 million years? I think we're allowed to swear.
Exactly. I think we're allowed to swear. Exactly. Yeah. So everybody in the chat room, if you have or haven't heard that, give a response in the chat room what you think of that. And I'm going to give you guys comical homework to write another swearing revocation invocation. Can you top that energy? You all just been served by a swearing revocation. Does this creator swear? Fuck yes.
Well, what do you think the creator does when it keeps making mistakes? Oh, fuck again.
Exactly. Put it in the fuck off. Put it in the fuck off pile.
He doesn't like to waste plywood. It's expensive.
Exactly.
You motherfucker.
God
Jesus.
damn it.
Fuck off.
Motherfucking whore.
I'm wondering why that's the character that is based on the man that we call Jesus Christ. The name's changed, so he's not actually getting all the swearing of Jesus Christ. It's like, my name's Emmanuel, or yes, you are. I'm fine, thank you.
Many.
Yes, Lana. The brick and purse revocation was one that will be an all-time favorite for many. Monty, were you here for the brick and the purse one?
I think I've heard the story. I don't think you actually heard the actual the creation of the story. But yeah, you were saying that you were helping out someone, and just visualize having a brick in a Gucci purse and swat away those demons.
Hit the demon right in the head.
Mm.
And it worked too. And it worked.
Yeah. And so it's that classic sort of Jewish mom beating up their kids, like, what the hell are you, or even, just African Americans and stuff. That's the funniest thing in the last 4 years, when you're out with your mates and you're wearing full black and you've got a mask on and you're smashing the state and fighting the fascism, and mum finds you and takes you home. Jerome, what the fuck you doing? You come home right now. You come
Exactly.
round. You know, shut the fuck up. Put the brick down. You come in. Don't make me come up. I'll take my shoe off.
All right, so we're waiting on Robert to fast forward to that next one. So anyone here, how were you affected by that swearing revocation?
I just got that Jason Bateman meme again. It's like, I'm gonna create chaos in your life. The fuck you are. Like it's a great you know cursing against curses.
The power of cursing to your advantage. Bruce, master of language, what did you think of that? Was that the first time you heard that one?
The revocation?
That swearing revocation, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant.
This next one's on par with it, if Robert can get it.
So far, I'm not finding it. They're mostly just reading their own personal revocations, but not the one that was rapping.
So it'll have Datina and her boyfriend on it, who's not her boyfriend anymore. It was like within, I think, in the beginning of the second hour.
That's the one thing I like about you, Andrew. You have a memory. Because
yes,
I noticed when we have kind of key for an historian to remember things. I, on the other hand, because I noticed when we have, doing shows like this or normal conversations, I just trail off into the sun. I head towards the sunset and I just, deviate, and branch off. Yeah, remember like 3 minutes ago, we're talking about elephants and you keep bringing it back because I just wander.
Robert, out of curiosity, is there a link in the show description to the revocation? Did that ever get put there?
I put a link into the swearing revocation video.
Just the video, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but not on the actual video that you're looking at. In the show description, there's not links for that.
No, they haven't been indexed yet.
Okay.
Yes, emanating sovereignty. Yeah, basically, where the hell's he going now? Free range comedy.
Free range organic comedy.
You'll be happy. I'm eating a lot of protein now. I've been having like a hamburger a day, but I'm having 2 eggs as well. And the body's going, all right, we'll get rid of all this weight.
Exactly. So look at all this food and what it does for me.
Yeah, it's like that. I think we're hitting the 40 grams of protein.
The only one I'm finding in this video is couple is Andrew and Donna.
No, it'd be after them.
And outside of that, it's just single people.
So it should be right after the Andrew and Donna one.
You remember when Eddie Murphy made movies in the late 80s? And I think it's Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights has the most swearing, or did have the most swearing in a movie. And it's in like 1933 or 1932 when it's set. It's like, did people talk like this? And actually, that came up in Deadwood. Remember the swearing in Deadwood?
Yeah.
And then in season 2, they make a joke about it where like, oh, they swore a lot in Rome. And another character says, are you sure? And it's like, well, that's a bit meta because like it's basically the creators having a go at people swearing about the first season.
Yeah, that L. Swearingen was an artist with the profanity. And then everybody caught up pretty quick. That must have been one of the most fun shows ever to write, Deadwood.
Mm.
Hell yes.
Yeah, apparently, now this is anecdotal, so I don't know if it's true or not, is back in the 70s when Gough Whitlam won the election to be government here in Australia after 23 years of the Conservatives being in power. That's 2 decades of having the same party and the same. I think Robert Menzies was Prime Minister for 17 years. That was fun for the country, but apparently he walks in and he's got his cabinet, and Whitlam goes, What I'm going to paraphrase it or something. I don't need any of you cunts. it's like all right then. That's how you want to start off your government and cabinet, by calling. I don't need any of you cunts. So let's get to it. But it's very Australian.
Hold on one
Also,
second.
if you live here as well, there's especially before technology, and I'm sure you get it in Ohio and especially in Canada, where 40 below zero and all you've got is a shawl and a fire. I'm sure there's a lot of swearing involved.
Yeah.
But the Australian response to most weather, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. You don't swear in super cold weather. You just don't want to waste the energy.
You're thinking a lot. Now, I remember an episode of Monkey where they're going through a mountain range and they're stuck in a cave and it's that cold. And it's like, hang on, why is this in a kid's show? Because Sandy takes Monkey's magical staff and you just see this stream of water turn to ice and Sandy's trying to take a piss with the magical staff. It's that cold. And he comes back, no, it didn't work. Like, very interesting thing to write in. I'm wondering if that's in the original stories of Monkey, but yeah. Which is fascinating because I think it's a Japanese-made TV show about Chinese people going to India for Buddhism. Which is almost
caller number 5.
If you've ever seen Highlander, like I wonder how woke people would deal with Highlander, because you've got Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. Sean Connery is playing half Egyptian Spanish guy with a Scottish accent, and you have a Frenchman playing a Scotsman.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow it all just works, though. I don't understand how they pulled that off.
It's called acting, but nowadays it's like, you're taking away from Scottish people. It's like, well, you've got the Egyptian and Spanish guy who's Scottish. Like, Scarlett Johansson apparently lost out on a role because she's not transgender. It's like, that's the level, like, I mean, if you find, I don't see, my problem is I trust, I sort of judge people on merit.
Damn you, judging people on merit.
Yeah, merit.
Well, no. Sorry, I observe people on merit. I try not to judge.
Could you imagine a commander in the trenches in World War I? Now, remember, folks, guys, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Just give it your all.
All right, boys, over the top.
Just give it your all.
So you can't. Yeah, today it would be.
There's no competition here. No competition.
Yeah, the commander wouldn't use the term "guys" because that's offensive.
Yeah.
It's like it's that level of insanity where one of the creators of Loki came out and was basically saying, we deal with Loki's sexuality, and it came across as a focal point of the entire existence of the TV show. And when you watch it, it's 2 lines and it disappears in 7 seconds. It's like, yeah, okay. But apparently, no, that's it. It's like, what about storytelling and character arc? Oh, no. We allude to he may be bisexual, and that's the meaning of the show. No.
Yeah, it's really getting to be something, and Australia and Canada seem to be like ground zero for all of the, and again, this is a language thing, right? We're talking about swearing today, but one of the things that they're really going after in this new phase of cognitive development they want in human beings, I guess, because it seems pretty global now, is it's really going at the language. Right, which is why I think we should never lose our swearing.
No, we should never lose our swearing.
No.
Robert, I just quickly, I was paused out for a second there. I quickly went through it. Maybe that person called in on another show. I could have swore it was on that show though.
I'm checking now, June 18th, 2020. That's the Datina Jade one.
What I find also amusing
I'll
is
keep you posted.
Okay.
excellent. I find it interesting is like the god of mischief may be bisexual. Uh-huh. It's like watching South Park and you find out the devil's gay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, I'm sitting down, thank fuck. I could have
Right.
been bowl me over with a feather.
So we've been talking 45 minutes of fucked up words. Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm going to reach out to the audience and ask them to raise their fucking hands. Since all of you who know I am the motivator of hand raisers, I have said it, and now I will pass it off to Bruce and Monty to lure you to raise your hand so we can talk to you.
Well, from the hip hop world, you cunts better raise your hands or I'll go you.
Don't be afraid. We just want to have a fucking chat.
Yeah.
No, you're not worth not doing. No one's raised their hand.
Well, of course not, because they're afraid. They're pieces of shit. I like the quote from what is it? Ford Fairlane. You're an island of reality in a sea of diarrhea.
We have a hand raised.
Hey,
Robert,
we have
Robert,
a
spin
brave
that
soul.
wheel of two callers now, and they better have something to say instead of I just raised my hand so I wouldn't be insulted.
I'll do first come, first serve. Jorge.
Jorge, are you there?
That's how you say it. I thought he was Swedish.
He doesn't have a microphone symbol. There we go. You got two. Jorge, you're in the room twice.
That's how much he loves the show.
Jorge, you malcriar puta.
Bing,
What's up,
bing,
bitches?
bing, bing, bing. There we
Can
go.
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Where are you calling from?
Santa Clarita, California.
Santa Clarita, California. So what the fuck do you have to tell us?
What the fuck do I have to tell you guys? Well, I got some jokes. I got a rap as well. I don't know. What should I hit you with first, bitches?
Well,
Whatever
can I
you-
just
whatever you
can
want,
I just
my-
quickly say? I just want to
What?
quickly say. Anytime I hear a caller from California, I instantly think, "Fucking brave, dude! You live in California,
Right.
brave man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not stunning and brave, actual brave."
Yeah.
yeah. My
So,
butt cheeks is sweating right
So
now.
hit us, service like a South Park dance moto.
All right. So I really hate working with light workers because they refuse to do all the heavy shit.
Well.
So
Yep, good one.
you get when a parent and her Ken get in an argument at a hospital with a light worker and their narcissistic partner.
Oh
A very
god.
viral video.
That's good.
All right.
Viral
Well,
video title waiting to happen.
Right.
Did you see that? Those two Ken and that you're referred to as Ken and Karen, but they defended their house during a Black Lives Matter protest in St. Louis. You remember them?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, apparently they've been pardoned by the governor because technically they were defending their house. They weren't doing, but I actually unfollowed Chuck D because like, no, that's enough. But apparently, the governor pardoning those two, it's a sign of white supremacy. See, it's funny but shocking. Like, what? So, mind you, let's go back to California, where apparently it's not illegal to have sex with someone and you've got HIV. Because
And not tell them.
and not tell, because it used to be you had to tell someone if you had sex with it if you're HIV. You don't have to now because that's how progressive California is.
That's the norm here.
Yeah. I'm not judging Californians, like believe it or not, because Gavin Newsom's going to be recalled or something like that. So there's this whole pushback because there's an element of common sense coming back. It's like the fuck you are. I've got my running theme of Jason Bateman.
So what else do you have to tell us?
So I remember why I came to Earth. All my memory is back now. Apparently, I got really drunk at an alien get-together, and the sexy Archon took me back to her planet. And needless to say, they let me down repetitively.
Did you wake up in a bathtub with your, all your loosh missing?
Yep.
That's a good one. I have to give you credit there.
It's those fucking Archon cunts.
You know why it's hard to stay with a girl that knows Andrew?
Why? What?
You're always competing with their vibrator.
Exactly. Ooh, oh, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna have to use that. I'm gonna have to use that in the next girl situation I'm in.
You need to raise your vibration.
Yeah.
Tap, 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 tap.
You need to go up one level on your vibration level.
Yeah.
All right. So all this time I thought sacred space was reference to our genitals.
Ha ha ha
Yeah.
ha.
Yeah, I know. And this one's only for the ones that saw yesterday's show. What is Andrew's ultimate legacy to this world?
A spork.
Exactly.
The spork. Exactly.
New from the Galactic Historian Enterprises, the intergalactic spork.
It's a multi-dimensional multi-tool. A multi-dimensional multi-tool.
It's a multi-dimensional tool.
No,
The
you can
spork-
dine.
The
Now you
spork
can-
of all ages.
Now you can dine with the same dignity as your friends in D-Block.
Yes.
For tonight, we dine in Valhalla, so bring your spork.
Bring your sporks.
Yes. All right, Jorge. Thanks for calling in. Robert has
No
the
problem.
next one queued up.
Oh,
All right.
yes. Thank you, Jorge.
Hey,
All
Jorge.
right. All right, everybody, sit back, relax, and listen to this one and the passion in this guy's voice.
I'm a pretty creative swear.
All right, then. Lay it on
All right.
us.
All right.
Go ahead and serve us.
All right, this is my fucking summer solstice invocation and revocation by Jeremy John Day. The deepest motherfucking breath out, the strongest father-sucking death. I am the goddamn courage that makes the impotent spirits of deception shit their dirty underwear. I stand erect like Thor's cock with the fortitude of Moby's dick. Infinity's fucking rage, I will devour you pricks. On this stage I have set, you bastards are next. All place your bets, now all my demons are vexed. I am sovereign. You are a cocksucker. I am God's backhand of fortified love across your cottage cheese lazy ass. Summer solstice is here. I've had enough at last. At last I have the courage and strength, the cuss words, wisdom, and knowledge it takes. You take and you take, trying to break, but you never will break. Make no mistake, your contract is up, torn up with love, you fucking snatch mongrel. Now listen up, you little cunt hair. El Jefe is here, it's time to play fair. Where bell or knuckle, well, my gloves are off too. Cock-sucking motherfucking two-ball bitch douche canoe. I am the champ of my reality. I am the center of my own ring. I am the rightful owner of the bloody majestic belt that I appreciatively wear for the deep, dark trials I have victoriously arose from. Look into my eyes, bitch wagon, and understand, you spineless shit dispenser. You are banned from this arena and all arenas on all timelines within me and my brilliant DNA lineage. I hereby revoke all titles claimed by your dick-lipped faction on all timelines, where I hereby rightfully re-inherit what belongs to me and my DNA lineage, past, present, and future. Don't walk away yet. I've got more to invoke. I've got more that is yours. Take it and choke, buffalo breath. Yeah, you smell like ass maggot. Diarrhea mouth. Yeah, you can have it. It's yours, pussy. Take it and grab it. Tuck tail and fuck off and make it a habit. Now with this solstice begun, I look to the moon, the stars, and the sun. I'll stand firm and know I have won, and add to the bitchin' dream web the historian has spun. Now, P.S. Look here, lizard labia lips. I'm sending you a slimy shit slurpee and a pre-owned Vera Wang bag full of hippo farts for you and your nappy dugout buddies and sheep fucking followers and bong water bastards you fornicate with. I'd offer you fucktards a shit sandwich, but I already know you don't like bread. So instead, sissy britches, go ahead and guzzle down 100-year-old cesspool of rotting tampons, you fucking quantum crop crawlers. And oh, by the way, your mom's the college whore. Chupa mi vega punta. Hasta la vista, pendejo, and amen, motherfuckers. I release you from the entanglement of my full beingness with the deepest motherfucking breath out.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah. Fuck yeah. Triple gold medal.
All right, everyone. That's some top shelf shit there. And somebody in the chat room said somebody in the chat room just said an Archon chuckled in the background. Yeah, I did.
I get to see an Archon going, yeah, fair play to you.
Yeah, you just got served. I just got served. All right.
Yeah. And the Prime creator's just giggling its arts off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at my creations. Look what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right, we have another caller. Robert, let's get the wheel of one caller.
It's the Hess man.
Sean, you're unmuted.
Now I am.
Hello, the Sean, the Hessman. How are you doing again?
The sass.
Good.
Now I
thanks.
am, motherfucker.
How's everybody today?
Good.
Glad to hear it. I'm because of the glorious direction that this show has taken, I am regretting not writing down the incredibly toxic revocation I was inspired to create in my head the half an hour before the show started, but I got at least one line out of it.
I mean, there's some damn good insults in that last one.
Beautiful.
Control mechanism of blame, shame, and guilt. You, the fuck you are.
Like this is to the domination control, the saying, "Here's vinegar in your eye," and then you read that.
Exactly. Here's the money shot.
Money shot revocation.
Yeah. There you go.
Free will all over the face.
I'm sure that'll help a lot of people who are porn addicted.
Right. So the only line that I can remember when I was starting to heat up in the mindset that I was in, and then I'm like, okay, I need to calm down. 2020 hindsight, I should have really let it rip. But anyway, let's see, fuck yourself as I wrote it quick, as hard and painfully as you need to. All right, I'll read this quicker. Fuck yourself as hard and painfully as you need to understand your free will doesn't get free reign to stop mine in my life.
Ooh, that's good.
All right. More to come. I think I can get that zone back.
Yes, now you have some motivation.
It was a great assignment to come up with a full-on potty mouth revocation.
Swear, don't even go potty. Don't edit yourself.
It's well, I like to go back and forth. Oh, here's a half and half. Some words I haven't got context for yet, but they're half potty, half just descriptive.
The diet swear.
Yeah, like sport dick.
Well, multi-tool dick, women might like it. You never know. Or it bends at a right angle, you know.
My penis is like a Swiss Army knife.
Your presence in my life is like a Swiss Army sport dick.
I always you got the Swiss Army, but I always imagine there's the Swiss Navy, and it's two Swiss guys in a dinghy in a lake saying, "Get away from the edge."
Parentheses.
So those who don't remember, Switzerland is landlocked. so they wouldn't have a navy.
So Maggie in the chat room says, I have no idea how to speak that creative. Yes, you do. Just think of the person you've been the most angry about and don't edit your swear words. It will flow. It is your inherent legacy and birthright to swear like a sailor.
Yeah, you don't have to show anyone else, but at least have the freedom for yourself to expunge all that. And it's like, you know, when you clean a cup that's had tea in it for a long time, you're just chipping it. You're cleaning it 100% because you're getting a little bit of whatever's left because the swearing just flows and it's a complete cleanse.
On that note, it occurs to me that like how, Andrew, you often say like we need to move up from the 26 letter to the million letter alphabet.
Yep.
We could also do well to move up from the like, I don't know, accepted 10 to 100 words of potty mouth into an encyclopedia full. And
listen, there's a lot of multidimensional swearing.
I have some starter ideas for that.
So just real quick, the swearing continues as you go up. It's the intent behind it changes, and then there are like, you know, like when we do yo mama jokes, you're not intending to harm the person. there are whole communities that work on the insult, but there's a collective people creating the insult, a collective people receiving and understanding the insult and trying to make improvements on it.
This food is bland. Please pass the insult.
Yes, please pass the insult.
But also when you have those aha moments, swearing really helps there. It's like, motherfucker, what?
Exactly, motherfucker, what?
Or fuck me.
So some of the starter words I came up with are fuck blister, and dick gristle.
Dick gristle. Okay. That's what happens when you're not uncircumcised, when you're completely uncircumcised, and it gets old.
Oh, good.
Like I came up with pus nuts.
It's like that turkey. It's like the turkey gobbler neck.
Monty, that is a good one. I'm writing.
I like pus nut. I think a comedian down here in Melbourne came up with cock ramp.
Nice.
Kind of. It just sounds great when you're angry. You fucking cock ramp. What?
So one of the times I was in Greece, I was trying to explain American swear words, and they were trying to translate it, and then I used the word cum dumpster. Now they had never heard that, and trying to translate English version of cum dumpster into Greek, and then them watching the processing and being disgusted by it. Oh, beautiful.
When GIFs and emoticons help.
Yes, but this was in 92, 93.
Yeah. That was pre both of them.
Yeah, it was pre-internet.
Well,
yes, they could taste it. Yes, Patrice. The mind figured it all out and processed and understood it.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Is Ohio the home of the Cleveland Steamer?
No.
Okay, that's disappointing.
Not really. It's basically it's offensive to Cleveland, so that's probably why it's called a Cleveland
exactly.
Steamer.
That's why it's called a Cleveland Steamer. Exactly.
No reason not to get the T-shirt.
Yes. Do you know what an upper deck is?
Of course, upper decker.
Okay. Yes.
That should be the name of a Star Trek episode that never made it to air. The upper decker.
They do have a show called Lower Decks, and
exactly.
So somebody doesn't know what an upper deck is. So that's when you take the top of the toilet off in a public restroom and you shit in the top of the toilet, not the bottom.
Oh, I did not need to know that.
Yes.
we got the gross out reaction from Bruce.
I did not need to know that.
Yeah, now you do.
Who kind of an animal would do that?
An upper decker.
An upper decker animal.
Yeah.
Like the Dr.
A very
Pepper
different,
song.
a very different
Bruce.
kind of predator.
Yeah, Bruce, Americans. Just Americans.
Americans, yeah.
I'm a decker, you're a decker, he's a decker, she's a decker. Wouldn't you like to leave an upper deck or
Yes.
two?
Now imagine the person taking the, having to clean it, or because generally they just throw those toilets out at that point.
I found the problem with your toilet.
Yeah, somebody took a shit in the top. They didn't have a lot of fiber.
Also, to do that act, there's commitment.
Yes, there's a lot of commitment.
That's where you get a low cost soupy sales.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes. Well.
Why is this toilet water brown? God.
Amanda, we used to have a homeless lady shit on the floor in the bathroom of my office. Would that be a lower decker? No, that's just a homeless lady.
She's just marking a territory so other homeless people don't go there.
Yeah, exactly. Just marking the territory.
It's mine. Get the fuck out, mine. See?
The homeless lady's poo trying to do the Terminator from Terminator 2 on the checker floor pattern.
I actually saw footage, and this is where society is today. It's like there's a lot of tension and also a lot of I don't care. But a homeless guy, there was I think it was in the New York subway, and a gentleman was trying to do his job and he's mopping the floor, which is a good thing. And then a homeless guy takes a shit in his bucket. And this is during peak hour. So like there's hundreds of people walking by and it's like, wow, apparently San Francisco, the homeless just shit anywhere.
Yeah. Apparently, this is what it takes to get people to raise their hand in this chat room here.
Yeah.
We had talking about shitting upper deckers. We got another hand raised.
I've got a shit story.
To quote Rocket, it's all about poo, but they didn't say poo.
Yes. All right, brother. Thanks a lot for calling. We're gonna get to the next.
Wait,
Jimmy the Kid.
Wait. May the spork be with you.
Always.
The spork has been received.
Yeah.
All right, Robert. Let's unmute Jimmy.
Hello.
Jimmy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
So it takes talking about upper decks and shit to get you to raise your hand today, huh?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, hold on though. I don't quite get the upper deck. It's on the lid. What is it?
You take the lid. You take, the upper bowl holds the water. You take the lid off of that and you shit in the top.
Oh fuck! That's
the flush water. Exactly. Yeah.
That's fuck. That's like going straight to the source.
Right.
You're toxifying the source. Ugh.
Exactly.
And it's so weird. Like here in Australia, our water level is low in the bowl, but the American one's really high for whatever reason. I don't understand what you want to have your turds take a swim.
Liters per flush versus gallons per flush.
I like it though. It's creative.
No, splashback. Come on.
I did shit in a girl's shower once. I know, man. I know. I'm not happy about it. I was young. I was an asshole. My friend was like egging me on. We were at a party. And like,
thanks for that vision. Come on, Jimmy, push.
Well,
push, Jimmy.
Trying to give you guys something useful here. Hey, I have Sean kind of yeah. Sean kind of inspired me. Like a while back, I wrote down this stupid list of like imaginary names of like sort of channelers, light worker names.
Ooh, want to hear this? Yes.
Okay, it's a little long. I might shorten it, but I was just kind of free associating. Okay, Burgundy Blaze Horse, Celestine Starfire.
Those are like light worker porn names.
There's a big market in that.
Auburn Fairy Dust, Theodore Roosevelt the 17th, Willis Flutterheart, Gerald Amethyst. He also goes by Jerry. Dr. Chaz Greatfoot, Greg Rainbow Body.
I think it's taken.
Really? But really, Greg though? You think Greg took it? Uh, Doug Melchizedek, Chandelier Face Flower. Ronald Luminescence. And then this next one just says Xanthorpe, and then in parentheses, as channeled through Eric's Self-Worth Jr. And Eric's is spelled with an X, and Self-Worth is spelled W-E-R-T-H. Very important, very important. Dr. Luther Zaxxon channeling Bleep Bloop from Zeta Perpendiculish. Whoa, what? That's a unwieldy, bit of an unwieldy one. Mr. and Mrs. Professors Gary and Melinda Wingspan channeling Steve from Malibu, California, who's still alive. Spirit Tompkins, Trixie Astral, not all these are great. Tammy 5D and a half, Chip Shadow Work. Let's see. The name Chip, really needs to come back. It's really exotic. Geppetotron from Sirius is channeled by Elizabeth Foxfire. Aurora Essential Oil of Angel Pussy Rising Flower. Some of these are long, not all channeled.
These are good. There's a whole bunch of people in the background who are trying to figure out their light worker name. Damn, I can't use that name now. Shit, I thought it would have worked for me.
It just sounds like a light worker convention sting.
Exactly, like Conscious Life, like one of those guys. And not all channelers have discipline with, so their names are too long. You know what I mean? They can't be succinct. Anyway, Chad Angel Breath, Lisa 1111 Jackfruit the Third, Willie D Broccoli Sprouts Billiams, who channels Magic Johnson. Okay, anyway, I don't know why. Service to Others, Scatman Carruthers Jr., Regicus Flocus, Kevin Current Now Moment McCracken, Crystal McKenna, Archangel Todd is channeled by Pam Morningstar, Regicus Upside Down Frownzisicus IV, Christopher God Smith.
Christopher God. Call me Christ for short.
Then there's this seemed to trigger, now there's God Smith, Veronica God, Carol 144,000 Vapor Mist. Wow. Sergio.
The Australian one would be an Australian one would be a guy called Chook, and a guy called is the first name.
A guy called Chook.
Yeah,
spelled
which is slang for chicken.
CHOOK.
Yep, Chook. Everyone,
right, this is good. Knows a Chook. This is good for inspiration. I appreciate that.
There you go. Yeah. That's my contribution. A guy called Chook.
Well, I'm also kind of into Aussie stuff.
So here's one. Danny Ravenflower channeling Danny Ravenflower.
Danny Ravenflower Senior channeling David Ravenflower Jr.
Exactly.
Oh, man. That's
their future kid who hasn't been born yet.
Yes.
It's like a human centipede eating itself. Sergio Ormus, Sananda QAnon Necronomicon Johnson. What the fuck?
Yeah, the Puerto Rican guy. Yeah.
What the fuck am I doing with my life, Bear? And then will you be my dad, Bear?
So, Jesus Christus channeling Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength there. You get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's almost over. I apologize for the length.
No,
it's good. You're doing well. You're doing great.
Guru Nibiru Jenkins, Elliot Elfcum Abernathy Sr., They Them Fembot Buttermilk. Whoa, hold on. This is a long one. They Them Fembot Buttermilk XY Daystar. Sorry, they're a little overzealous with their words. Lord Titan Spicoli, Sartoria Laserheart, Guru G Geraldine Ovenfire, Calvin Current Energies Cocktoastinson.
How about this one? Guru to the gurus.
I think it's too short, but it's good.
Well, GNU.
Yes.
You know the animal GNU. Yeah.
Wait, what's a GNU? Is that an Australian creature?
Oh, it's from Africa, isn't it? GUN or GNU, and it's like a cow. Or something.
Oh, that rings a bell. I'm gonna have to Google that after this.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting real close here. This is only a couple more. Calistoga, Dream Sweat. Oh wait, that's it. Sorry, that's yeah. All right, thank you guys. You're very patient and
Dave.
Yes,
Nice
and
stuff,
finally,
Brittany.
Kevin, fuck. All right.
That was outstanding.
Oh, thank you.
That was
Thank you.
outstanding.
Yeah,
Thank
well
you.
done, man. Well done.
Yes.
Kevin Smith, not that one.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Thanks, Sean, for kind of creating a portal for me to read my list.
So in some of the, like, when people are searching for their spiritual names, I said, what you got to do is you got to go out into your spiritual realm and find your spiritual outhouse. Go inside and read the shit on the walls.
Oh man, look at you. That's good.
What is on your spiritual outhouse walls?
What I find funny in the astral is about 25.
If you see a lot of 1976 numbers, those are probably like sexual demons and your porn stuff coming through.
What I like in the astral, there's 25 entities going, fuck, we can't use those names. Motherfucker.
Exactly.
I should hope so. Okay, well that's kind of all I got.
We're gonna need a bigger outhouse.
Yes, we're gonna need a bigger outhouse.
Oh, by the way, though, the book is so fucking great. Oh my god.
Thank you.
I don't want to hijack from the comedy, but I took it on a road trip to Mount Shasta with me on the 4th of July.
Sorry, I pause. I don't want to take away from the comedy, and then you set up the most brilliant sketch ever. I took the book to Mount Shasta on July 4th.
Oh boy, did I ever! Yeah, no, I mean, trust me, this trip there was comedy every step of the way. I show up in Mount Shasta, it's on fire, and everybody's paranoid, and I'm just like David Lee Roth, like party animal from LA, like what, dude, you know? But yeah, like I mean, David's intro is like a masterpiece unto itself, and then the fact that it's written by not Andrew but feels completely seamless, like Andrew wrote it by himself, which is some magic trick of Bruce's that I don't quite understand yet.
It's white man's magic. That's what it is.
Bruce McDonald channeled Andrew Bartzis.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I qualify as white anymore, Monty.
We call it honky medicine, you know.
Yeah, I like you. I don't qualify white. You are the palest person on this fucking call, dude.
Yeah, I can't even see right now. But and then like the structure of it, the rhythms of the words and the arc, and I mean, it's not like any book I've ever quite read before, and I've read a lot of books, you know. I don't you'd say that, you know, lightly.
That is an amazing thing to say. Thank you very much, Sean.
Yeah.
You know, that is, I mean, I don't think we could hear anything better. It's like unlike any book I've ever read before. I don't think there's a higher compliment.
Right? And if I could chisel it down to the most minimal praise, it would just be like best drug ever. That's not a drug, you know, like,
yeah. The no drug mystical experience.
No, seriously, it made me feel like I was tripping and expansive and dreamlike, and it was you know.
Did you have those moments where like you read, like I've had this same sort of experience when you're reading something, your higher self's going, see, told you. Like you know the information already, but it's new at the same time.
Yeah, something equivalent to that for sure. I mean, it's just I'm from LA, so I just say things like it's trippy, man, you know. But it's real trippy and inspiring and
I'm
funny.
You have a small communications industry there, so.
Just a little one.
Just this obscure backwater burg called LA that I'm from.
Yeah, very.
So you set up the backdrop. You set up the backdrop. Mount Shasta is burning. You show up with party life, and the book is there. How long did it take for you to read?
I finished it maybe a week.
A
Yeah.
week. Okay.
Yeah,
Good
like
pace.
few chapters a day type thing, you know. But man, you're so right, like about the interesting hierarchy up there and how, you know, the land is so incredible, but there's just all these like triggered, afraid, paranoid people who've been there too long and kind of consider themselves like the caretakers
Mhm.
of Mama Shasta. I mean, I interfaced with a lot of them and I got along great with everybody because I just had, I don't know, maybe I was even in a more neutral state than normal and the book was helping. I'm not sure, just it's all the above. But
You talk to people about the book, or were you seen in public with reading the book? Because
no, that would have been cool, but I
Yeah.
had the energy of the book for sure. And
Well, yeah, I mean that would have been enough where you probably triggered people, but they were being nice because you just existed from the book. Because yeah, there's a story for you, Andrew. Yeah, one of my listeners took my book to Shasta, and he came out alive.
Hey, he came out alive. Exactly.
I mean, I just had the best time and whatever anybody was going through, and people were going through a lot. I mean, there are a lot of people that converged there on the 4th of July to heal and have
Yeah.
intense karmic stuff going on. And I'm not always around those types of situations. So I think I just felt invigorated and happy and strong and able to, I just wanted to hear everybody's stories and I didn't care if anyone was in a mask or not in a mask, you know, it's just, I feel the book did in some way kind of assist in like amplifying that energy of just like, I'm just happy wherever I am and we're all going to be okay. And this is all fucked, but we're going to be okay eventually if we, you know.
Did you have any aha moments with the book?
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? Fucking, I mean, okay, Bruce Lee chapter was like, holy fucking shit, never like, you know, Jackpot City, the chapter before the dragon chapter leading up to the Bruce Lee chapter that kind of sets the tone for the Bruce Lee chapter. All that shit had my head spinning where I'm just like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? This is connecting some dots. Like, is the reason I'm so into James Brown and Prince and Jimi Hendrix, like, are these dragon dudes, you know? Like,
answer is yes. Any of those big music guys, yes, we're dragons.
And then it made me kind of, because I love Bruce Lee too, and I, you know, worship the show Kung Fu, and you know, and then it's sort of connecting dots for me, like, oh, huh. I need to explore his dragon webinar because now this dragon thing is all of a sudden seems extremely important. You know,
Have you watched Warrior, the TV show Warrior?
No, but I will.
You should.
Oh, you're gonna have your mind blown.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it's Bruce Lee's daughter who's executive producer, and it's based on the writings of Bruce Lee, where see, there's the thing about Kung Fu, if it was ripped off on him or was a set. Anyway, Bruce Lee sort of did a treatment for a show, and they made it 30, 40 years later. And
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I think I've heard you guys talk about it a little bit. It sounds familiar.
I mean, the writing, and it's just fantastic. I mean, I love Irish people, except for in that show.
Exactly, except for in that show.
Yeah, the Irish are bastards in that show.
So, anything you want to make, like, so you describe some of your aha moments that you had, or funny moments you have with the book?
Any synchronicities by reading something and then going out and hanging out with people?
Oh, you know, that's a good question. I feel like that totally did. I journaled about my whole trip and everything, so I'm trying to kind of off the top of my head remember, but that might come to me as I speak, but more just the things that stick out are the chapters that were just like, holy shit, like Yellow Box chapter, of course, which is not something I haven't heard you guys talk about before, but you know, just the way it was structured and the chapter was very like, you know, knockout punch kind of thing. And I did try, I mean, this is probably something I shouldn't do, but just for fun, I just sort of read that chapter to a friend and it completely like melted his, I kind of like probably shouldn't have. And I kind of knew like, all right, I'm taking this little experiment, but yeah, it completely was just like, it's just so fascinating, the power of words and how, what people can do with words. It was the Yellow Box chapter. The Yellow Box chapter completely just shut his system down. And I love this guy so much. We've known each other for years, but he was just like, just started like stammering and like couldn't handle it.
Couldn't handle the frequency.
That reminds me of a joke by.
Let's hear it.
I actually have to credit this. It's Steve Martin. You go to university, you get a geography degree, you forget everything the day you leave. You go to university, you study philosophy, you remember just enough to fuck you up for the rest of your life.
Zing. He's one of my absolute favorites. He doesn't get a lot of mentions on the show, I've noticed, but man, his stand-up albums were so huge for me.
Sorry we don't bring him up enough, but
it's fine. It's fine.
He's a legend, dude. He's a legend.
I mean, the Jerk, the stand-up records, the TV specials he did in the early 80s. Like I think he's different, man.
Yeah.
Well, he was the was comic that was doing stadiums basically, and he stopped because he wasn't feeling it anymore. And like he could still be doing it today, but he did other things. And he started his career work type thing. He worked in a magic shop in Disneyland.
I know. I read his book. I love that.
Yeah.
He seems to have gleaned only the joy and innocence out of Disneyland rather than all the horrible darkness.
not so much pedophilia, more of the
the thing they're trying to convince you that they're all about.
But it was his, and I think because he was he was mainly the 70s, wasn't he? So he did that sort of reversal where he could have been dark and brooding. Like he's not the same as Carlin or Pryor, and they're brilliant. But he just went the complete opposite in comedy. He went to the absurd and just, and it worked because he could do it really well as the market kind of needed that. And you can see in films where the first half of the decade was all doom and gloom. And then you had Rocky and Star Wars come out in 75, 77 and just change everything.
And Jaws too.
Yeah. Well, I would put that in the doom and gloom thing. Not really a family favorite.
But more the way it transformed the cinematic landscape where it was all about blood.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he's great. And you know who else I love who's was a writer for Steve Martin was Jack Handy. Do you know who that is? The guy who did all the deep thoughts for Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Yeah,
he is such an underrated writer, man. I mean, I can read all those books today and laugh out loud at home alone, like nonstop. Like, I think you guys might enjoy checking out his books, Jack Candy. It's filled with just like brilliant, weird, acidy comedy. Yeah.
Well, Jimmy, we have another caller.
Oh, great.
We have incited someone to raise their hand. Thanks for calling in.
No problem. Take care, guys.
All right, Robert. Let's spin the wheel of a single caller.
Sarah, signal to unmute.
Sarah.
Hello. What the fuck is up?
Not much. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Folsom, California, where it's all on fire and all that kind of shit. But
another brave person.
Now. Yes. Gentlemen, I had some questions about the book. This is so amazing. I love the comedy and everything. Oh my gosh. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Of the author? Could you please, for me, because I've looked up in my dictionary, could you define how you're using the word implicate in the DNA chapter? They unfold into an implicate order of greater awareness.
Oh, this is going to get some laughs. Go ahead, Bruce.
I know, sorry. But I was there today and I'm like, oh my gosh, how are we really using that? Please help.
Oh, no, it's part of the show. We usually get to this point in the show where we go a little bit serious, but it in the whole scheme of things, the comedy comes roaring back.
So, I mean, there's many ways to look at that word, but the easiest thing for you to do is just do a Google of implicate and explicate, because it'll take you immediately in the search results to what they're talking about in the world of quantum physics. And that's where Andrew was taking the language from. And that's, where I went with the language.
Okay, because that's where I started, is I went straight to Google, and thank you so much for the words that you folks are using, because it's putting me back in touch with my dictionary.
Good old friend, Dictionary Joe.
Amen. Absolutely. And when you use
Dictionary Joe and Ant Thesaurus, love them.
Absolutely, yes. The phrases that are in this thing are so inspiring. The white noise of our spiritual ghetto. I mean, really? How about that?
Yes, yeah,
Right?
exactly.
That
Yeah.
just smacked me in the face. And how do you know? And it ends with, "How do we ever hear the silence?" I was just like, okay, this is going to take several reads. How cool is that? Oh, amazing. Just fucking amazing.
So have you finished the book yet?
Oh no, I just finished the DNA chapter,
Okay.
and I've got so many questions, and I'm putting shit in the margins, and
that's why we put extra margin space.
Thank you so much.
Bruce and I actually had that conversation when Bruce was doing the typesetting.
Hey Andrew, this is a wide outside margin. Maybe somebody will want to make notes, Bruce.
Yes, me, absolutely. That is so amazing. Thank you all so much. I don't know that I have anything funny to add to this, but I appreciate the clarification.
But you could ask questions about the book.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So yeah, that implicate and explicate was just like, wait a minute, I know what it means to implicate something, but is that really how you're using it right here?
No, that's the nature of reality. It's the seen and unseen realities. How atoms and electrons and neutrons can move in between things and being observed and unobserved. And in the unobserved state, they're still in existence.
Okay. That helps out a lot because in my meditation, go ahead.
Oh, for those who haven't read the book, that's the level of shit you learn where you sit there for like 45 minutes going, I know the words mean something, but you have to it's like they're zip files basically where you have to you can read a paragraph. I'm reading chapter like one every 3 days because I'm letting the zip file unpack. It's a book. It's a rereader. You have to keep reading it, and as you progress, you find more and more and more.
I'm in the same boat. Exactly. That's why I got this a couple weeks ago, and that's why I'm only on the DNA chapter. And
take your time.
I thank you. I shall. I mean, you're using words like perpetuity, and I haven't heard that since my parents were alive. And that's beautiful that you guys are reinvigorating the language. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I love the motherfucking shit that comes out of my goddamn sailor mouth half the time, but I've got kids and I've kind of drawled that back. But now they're getting to this age of like, did you say shit? Ah! And it's funny to hear them and try to not be the overbearing mom of, oh my God, you guys need to wash your mouths out with soap. But just go, okay, not in public, okay? Because at least, is it wrong of me to at least want them to put their swear words together in a decent fashion?
No. It's wonderful that you want to teach your kids to swear properly.
Thank you.
As John Cleese said, be creative.
Yeah, that's just the thing with kids. Like all my nephews here in Costa Rica, they all want to learn the bad English first. Fuck you, motherfucker! I said, and you're walking down the road and they shout it from a cow field. Your 9-year-old nephew, Bruce, yeah, Tio Bruce, Uncle Bruce, yeah. Fuck you, motherfucker! I never should have taught you that. I never should have taught you that. That's on me.
There's your karma right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's great shit. So because today in my meditations, I was coming across the fact that we have you talk about the guides and the guardians and all this stuff. Well, I've got all this bacteria and everything that floats through the air. Like I think it was my son that was telling me, you're more bacteria than you are you. All these things that if we consider them sentient or not sentient.
Or they're just a part of your sentience.
Right. That makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, we've spent so many generations of, it's just a plant, don't worry about it. But doesn't the carrot scream when it gets pulled from the ground? Talk about
absolutely, it does. Technically, it does. There's scientific stuff that's been done to prove it.
There was an ad, I think, either in England or Australia, where the guy was peeling an orange using like a potato peeler. And every time they cut the skin, there was this blood curdling scream. It's one of the funniest ads ever. Like, ah! And he's looking around going, what? And every time, it's funny. I can't remember what they were selling, but I remember the ad.
I never saw Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, but maybe they were,
You're
pissed
not
off.
missing anything. You're not missing anything.
Okay.
There's 17 of them, yeah.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
Good to know.
Yeah. Does not need to be on your bucket list.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
In the chapter of story on page 25, you put, this is the story of time. Now, are you saying that time is an entity?
What do you think?
No? I think that you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And?
Now
what?
And as such,
how does your hamsters on your comprehension wheel deal with this?
My comprehension wheel goes, and as such, then we can have a conversation with time, and we can work with time, and time might get a little snippy every once in a while, but it's something that we can have a conversation with. And I happened to be on the phone call yesterday when you were talking about bending the fork.
Bending the fork
to your will.
Yes.
Fucking fantastic. I mean, really, that's our sovereign right, isn't it?
That's right, bitch.
Yep. I am the motherfucking fork, and I'm going to stick my ass in you if you don't get out my way.
Exactly.
Okay?
And if you're in chat, remember that's when I brought up Spork, and then there was an hour and 45 minutes of Spork jokes all through chat.
Yes. May the spork be with you.
Yeah, may the spork be with you. Exactly.
One
I kind of half noticed it through
the
the show. And then at the end, I'm like, "What's with all this spork talk? What did I do?"
It was awesome.
I have like a background goal of trying to write stuff. I know I make people in chat laugh, but I'm trying to break Andrew, where it's like, he just glances and then, see if I can actually get him to laugh or try and hold on while he's having a serious session with someone on the phone.
Oh, right. I'm watching his eyes to see if there's a reaction to some of those. I love that.
Everybody has you can tell my facial reactions as I'm responding to reading a caller's energy too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's really nice to have
like
that
when I hear the pity party energy, I'm like, I do this ever so subtly. I'm like, really? You're gonna pity party energy me on the first caller? Bad caller.
And I've noticed something because I've been listening to you probably for about 5 years or so, and I've noticed that sometimes in your conversations, your eyes will dart off to the sides, like you've got some. Are you seeing like different?
I'm outside. I'm outside, and cars are driving by. Hold on, I'll turn off my background for a second. Hold on. So I'm on my front porch. Then there's our driveway, and there's the road there, and I see cars go by. That's why my eyes dart around.
He's basically checking if bears with diarrhea are heading towards his house.
No, I just like right now I'm looking at the camera, but I turn to look out at there. It's that's it. Natural. That's it. And or somebody's walking by the driveway or something like that, or the neighbor's dog comes by to visit. What happens on a really regular basis? Comes by. Sometimes he's like taking a shit right in front of me, and I give him the double eyes.
Right on. Because I noticed that.
And then he moves on. Yeah.
Right. But when you were reading, and I know that it looked as if you were swiping through the Akashic record and moving pages and whatnot. So
that's what I'm processing, extremely dense information. Moving things around. Yeah.
That was another question that I had, because it sounds like, where is it at? Page 50 something or other. it's like the way I read this is how we access the Akashic Records. You say it's a form of light store. You're talking about DNA. It's a form of light stored in an experience, as streams of consciousness. We have thousands of subcarrier codes, millions of experiences inside us. We only need to tune into the memory, and we can go into.
Bingo.
At any scale we desire. Is that what it means for us to enter into that Akashic record so that we can access that?
And then you got to learn the metaphorical Dewey Decimal System.
And remember, only 20 years ago, people still had problems programming a VCR. So there is that there's that range. It's a fun part of like you're multidimensional. It's like, oh, really? And most people have no idea what exactly that means because you are multidimensional, and then you have to start integrating and learning and blah 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 blah. And yeah.
Right, that's what I'm talking about when we speak of the bacteria and the viruses and all these other things that are along just with our body itself, just for that aspect of it. That's a dimension
that's part of the human design, though. All the bacteria that exist. Yes, there are new bacteria that come into existence, but they're still part of the contract to create the DNA skin suit. And the DNA skin suit has its own contractual obligation to the micro communities that aren't operating in a macro format.
Well, isn't the DNA skin suit as like like its own galaxy itself?
Yep.
As you know, yeah. So as above, so below, and yeah, because that's
and the fractality.
Yeah, as within, as without.
Yeah, and that's why. That's why kids.
I got a good one out of her.
Yep.
There's a great way to commodify these Yoda lines that are out there.
Yeah. Remember, what happens in the vagus nerve stays in the vagus nerve. So. Which I just love that because that's not what it does.
Monty.
And to Jimmy the Kid, he went to Mount Shasta. This was years and years ago, and I said this: Mount Shasta is the Las Vegas of sacred places. You never know what you're going to get, and the house always wins. But I now kind of use that general term for many touristy sacred places.
Well, yeah. I mean, seriously, all the light workers.
Right. They're just dealers. They're just 21 dealers. They're the light worker. That's a slot machine. The light worker. That's, Rainbow Crush, There's another light worker who's just the bartender. Okay.
Right.
Then there's a light worker that does the stand-up, the shows. The people go to Vegas for the shows. It's another light worker.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you for all of the effort that you folks put out and coming together and sharing with all of us here. And it's a blessing to be able to share in that. And how fun is it? How fun it is to be able to ask the authors of a book. Not even a year after it's been released. How amazing is that? Thank you very much for the clarification.
We are always open to talking about the book.
Open source world.
Yes.
Excellent. That's beautiful. That is just fucking beautiful. Well,
and
I will.
To ruin the end of it, the butler did it.
So here's another little thing. Our source outsourced his outsource working. Source contracted another source, which then outsourced its source.
So, in the has there been any blowback
in an open source system?
Yeah, has there been any rumblings of like you can't do that? Any rumblings like that? Any part of the rest of the galaxy going, stop it, you're hurting?
Great question.
So there is yes, but I don't have. I got to give me a moment to process how it is because it's xenoexopolitics at the highest level of description.
Well, I don't really need details. So just even if you want to put it,
it's all context. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's all context.
I think
go ahead, chat for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going the other way, actually. I think that the book is having a lot of positive creation and opening doors for both Andrew and myself, rather than doors closing, talking about opposition. I think that doors are opening for us. I think there's a lot of people who want to hear more.
And that's a beautiful thing, because we've been asleep for so very long.
That's the way they wanted it. People don't like that pronoun they, but I don't like,
what else can you call it at this point?
Yeah, there's been an oppositional force to the human experience on this planet almost since the beginning. We have to acknowledge that without getting too, let's say, biblical about it.
Sure.
And out-create them rather than battle them, I think, is the correct approach. But yeah,
I agree, because that helps you retain your sovereignty instead of playing their game. Somebody said it yesterday, I think, maybe, was that the best way to win the game is not to play.
Yeah, that's. I think I said that.
I think you did, Monty.
Yeah, we're at the point where, from my understanding, if you've got the prime creator involved, it's like doing an audit. It's like, yeah, things are kind of bad, because I think because everything has been put on pause on Earth, it's affecting of everything else in creation, and so there has to be an end. And obviously, we're going to go with a positive end instead of a negative one. So, it's also got to be done the right way, whatever that right way is. And we're in that transition. Like Bruce and I, when we did roundtables together, we're basically, it's going to be fine in the end. Now, I don't know if we have to crawl across a football field covered in glass to get to that end, but it's going to be okay in the end. Now, obviously, you get halfway across the field and realize, hang on, I can float and float across. But it's and we're all here to watch it, which is the fascination of don't fear the unknown, love the mystery.
Yeah,
beautifully said. All
right, so I have a way to describe what's going on.
Okay.
So recently we had the big shorting. So you had the Wall Street bets guys shorting and trying to cause billions of dollars of loss. And I want you to see that as a metaphor. Now, the negatives here that have been in charge and then been slowly replaced with the board members, they have an issue going on where the price of loosh is going down. And many of the communities that were heavy buyers of it are shorting the loosh stock many galaxies wide. And then at the same time, the idea, when a patent expires, let's say on a medicine, anybody can copy it and make a generic version of it. And there was a metaphorical patent, which was actually just a spiritual rule that you couldn't copy this DNA until X period in time. That patent has come due. So there's been a bunch of species that have created human beings from the ground up and to mine loosh a different way from them, as well as many of the other clone human experiences that are spread around the galaxy. So they're flooding the market with generic loosh now that hasn't been harvested in the same negative way. So they have a major, let's just say, high-level competition where they never had competition to the loosh. Okay? But at the same time, when you bought loosh, you were also buying genetic manipulation pieces for your individual lineage or species. Now, many of the patents that were about human skin suits here, they couldn't be copied because they were in the Galactic Ascension machine, blah, 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 blah. It's hard to explain the context there, but when you're in the machine, you can't copy it. Once you're out, though, you can copy it and spread it. Anyway, so we have copies from the future coming back, which are seeding live other places so that they can not have a stranglehold over the one or two lineages that everyone else needs.
So they're losing control, basically.
They've lost their market share. They've lost a big market share.
Not total control, but they're losing total control. It's their control's been
right. Instead of it just being Coke, it's Coke and Pepsi now.
Yeah. There's options.
So were there? Yeah, there are options, exactly. And we can make that work for us. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so is that going to come back to the whole daily practice, etc., or is there something else that?
Sure. Are you producing loosh?
You know what? To be perfectly honest, I am still confused as to what loosh is. I think is this a made-up word or is a word I could look in the dictionary?
Bruce, you define it.
Well, to my sensibility, the first time Lush comes into the lexicon is with a book called Journeys Out of the Body by Robert C. Monroe. His work got co-opted by the CIA, and it's the Monroe Institute now that does hemisync work with sound tonality to link the two sides of the brain. Now, Robert Monroe accidentally left his body. It had to do with a structure he was sleeping in, but once he did it once, he was able to do it quite a bit. In one of his books, he documents this exchange he sees on the astral where this energy is being taken from the earth, and it's called Lush. And that's where it comes in. And, but the word didn't exist before that. I don't know if he was borrowing it from something more pre-modern, but that's where it comes in. So Lush is intentional energy. And in what we'll call the worlds between the two poles, the absolute materiality and the pure spiritual, there's all these worlds, and that Lush energy is extremely valuable. It can sustain things. It's like a gasoline almost, and human beings produce it and basically secrete it or have it squeezed out of them through emotional manipulation most of the time.
So similar in fashion to the Monsters movie, where they scare the
Yes.
kids and collect that and the laugh
Yeah.
energy. So is that in a way soft disclosure for us, that
Yes.
laugh energy?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I use that all the time, and I sort of asked Andrew about this, where, like at the end of the film, they realize by going for a positive way, like through laughter, it's 10 times as stronger than the fear based of it. And from my memory of Andrew giving us reports about the inner Earth, where the idea is hinting of like there may be another way of creating Lush where without killing the product.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and also as well, because it's been like that for this epoch of total cuntiness is only what 10,000 or 30, very short compared to the whole thing of it. But if you have so much abundance, you probably give Lush away because you're generating it so much and you're in a happy spot. But what they're doing is difference between a free range chicken and a caged chicken.
Mm-hmm. Still gonna be
good.
chicken.
Yeah.
Still gonna be chicken on a plate.
And that's just part of the role that we're in here on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole
Okay.
galactic ascension machine essentially that needed to be created so the energy harvesting, which was older than Earth, it's been around a really long time. Just it was done with a more positive concept behind it. You're intending to have millions or billions of technologically created DNA skin suits with the idea that the background consciousness of the planet will elevate energy, which will become new consciousness. 75% of our galaxy is old souls, 25% is new. And that's a general theme. Every now and then it goes from 75 to 55 as something leaves and something new comes in. And then the next guys take over as the elder light beings. And it's an ongoing process here. So Lush is one of those things that is, has this negative terminology from here, but there was a positive way to farm entities so that you would get new souls coming to live into that, that culture that was, harvesting energy for the original founder beings or those that took over afterwards that created a false god, false religion system to divert the energy so it could be stored in local planetary processes instead of the celestial processes.
And that's for their own, ease of access, I'm guessing.
Once you can store it, you can transmute, transform, metamorphize it into direct manifestation matter technologies. So 1 ounce of Lush could make a giant battleship. That's that much empowering intentional energy behind it.
Holy shit.
Right. When you're harvesting billions of beings' intentional energy.
Yeah, and that's why you swear, because you just had an aha moment and you found out something and you said, holy shit.
Right. Here comes my next swear is the motherfuckers are sucking the cum right out of me. And I don't even get the joy of a reach around.
Nope.
Motherfuckers.
Nope. No, you don't get
so
the
they
joy
can
of the
suck
reach
my
around.
big left toe. They can have all this shit. but you aren't going to get my goody juice. That's just the way it is.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's now. This is now like at the start because you were so abundant with Loosh that it's like, yeah, have it. But what they've done is they've just drained.
Oh yeah.
What's a good metaphor, Andrew? Where they're milking the cow dry, basically.
Yes, keeping the cow at a state where it's forever milking.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ on a stick.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I had no idea that you could take X amount of Loosh and you can make
something out of it.
Did you say a battleship?
Yeah, a giant space battleship. Yeah, hundreds of miles long.
Hundreds of miles.
Miles long. Yes, hundreds of
miles.
Like
a Star Destroyer in Star Wars.
So I can take my own Loosh and make my own battleship or my own whatever I wanted.
That will be a legacy for every human being on Earth that makes the changes into self-healing, self-nurturing, and self-mastery, direct matter manifestation. We have a valuable commodity of experiences inside us that the rest of the universe absolutely wants, because once the Galactic Ascension Machine's done, there are no new entrants. There's no Galactic Ascension Machine 2. They're doing it once and it's never going to happen again. Okay. So we have unique experiences of all our times in there, and we will be able, that'll be a commodities for all these other beings that need to understand the fundamental of the experience from somebody that was actually in it. We could share a unique strand of memories and dreams and experiences from lifetime to lifetime, so another being can come and learn what we learned in the Galactic Ascension Machine and all the repeats we had to do.
Yeah.
So they can learn from the experience instead of it does not have to be the school of hard knocks. You can take this info and oh yes, that's awesome.
Valuable commodity. Okay, valuable commodity.
It's similar like people watch superhero movies or read books. Is the idea of a created fictional story is you can see a situation, but you don't have to live the situation. Because, you know, I don't really want to be killed repeatedly because I've already done that.
Right. I look back in my own in my own sense of myself. And for my sense, I've been through all the wars. I've done all the murdering that I want to do. And I don't want to see that anymore. So I do my best to go forward. Like sometimes like the movies will come up and it'll be really gory and super scary. And I can't watch anything new these days. I'm stuck on, I go to like Star Trek The Next Generation because that's about as gory as I'm going to get these days. Sad, I know, but whatever. I don't want to keep bringing that into my awareness field so that I can let all that shit go. Because
it's like also like we've done everything except graduate, if I can use that term. And so well, what else is there to do apart from become your own god?
Well, that's something I knew since I was 9, but everybody told me that no, God's out there somewhere else. But something inside me, when I came across what was the saying? Lift a piece of wood, there I am. And I'm like, well, if God's in a tree and in everything, that means he's in me. He's in me. So therefore I am.
You heretic.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a narrative, Sarah. Sounds like a narrative. And what do you mean he? Did you assume God's gender?
The only reason I'm assuming God's gender as a he is that it's the outwardly pushing force at times.
It's the phallic God.
There you go.
Oh, that big dick energy. Oh, so it's the big
exactly that big dick energy. Exactly. My God's dick is bigger than your God's dick.
Amen.
Yeah, but your God is a dick.
Oh my God.
And then those poor people are like, my God's a flying spaghetti monster. All the gods are like, why didn't we think of that?
Why didn't we think of that?
Oh, it was just an angry Italian. That's how that started.
What's the matter, you?
What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this? Very nice. Very nice. Gentlemen, thank you very much for taking the time with me and answering my questions and indulging
You're welcome.
me.
You are welcome. Call in again.
Will do. Absolutely.
All right, Dom,
have a
take
great
it easy.
evening. You too. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, where shall we direct ourselves? We have no further callers who have raised their hand. So my final insult. You are a chicken shit.
Well, Byron, just there you go. Now, yeah, look, you've raised a hand, but I don't know if we want to talk about energy because tomorrow or the 8th, you've got Lionsgate on New Moon, and the energy's been weird since the full moon for the last 2 weeks. So I don't know if you want to do a energy report on what the fuck's going on.
Nope, I'll do a postmortem.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, instead of what's the potentialities?
Autopsy.
We'll just look at the corpse of the last 2 weeks, and then we'll
exactly. Well, let's look at the corpse of the last 2 weeks. Nice. What were you going to say, Bruce?
Autopsy.
Exactly. We'll do the autopsy. We'll have the autopsy show in 2 weeks from now.
As you can see, the victim was struck from behind.
All right, Robert, we've got another caller that has raised their hand.
Okay, Lisa, you're in signal to mute.
Here I am.
Hello, where are you calling from?
I am in the North Houston area of Texas.
North Houston. What do you want to talk to us about today?
Well, I kind of came in late and it was intermittent and I don't know what was brought up, but the last caller, it started to get big and I was like, I don't know how much comedy I'm into tonight, but this whole thing is just comedic, like as far as life on this planet right now. But
it's definitely a Three Stooges episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm definitely feeling sporked by all means.
You've been sporked.
Yeah. So you've entered the great sporkering. Yeah.
The great sporkering. Well, there were two things that kind of came up when I was listening in on the last one, and comically so, I'm wondering, if, and Andrew, you might remember this about me a little bit, but I have this way of just trying to take this really complex stuff and simplify it, at least, as simple as possible. And one of the things that I'm just kind of coming to is it just seems like humanity, the ability to take the loosh or to harvest the loosh or the ability to get the reactive state out of people really is, of course, the fear base. But it really comes down to people are afraid to look at death. And the comedic part of it is it's a death sentence, just becoming human. And we all know this, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to
It was never meant to be a death sentence. And that's what they've tried to program into you. Real quick, loosh is not all fear-based. It's control-based. Fear is a form of control. Patriotism, nationalism is a form of control. Cultural idiosyncrasies are another form of control. All those are flavors and brands of loosh. And every season, that whenever there's big sports seasons, they're harvesting your local city to city energy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Instead of the gladiatorial games, and it's connected to loose harvesting, which is from the TV networks. And then there's the internet harvesting of loosh, which is raw, intentional, normal background creative energy, because you have Wi-Fi in the back of your system and they have AIs that are predicting your potential futures, so that they can harvest micro amounts of loosh off of you, which means by the end of the year, the micro amounts become huge volumes of energy when you're doing it from billions and billions of beings. It's like taking a penny off of every transaction, but if you have a billion transactions, that's a lot of pennies. Okay.
Right.
And then there's other forms of fractional loosh harvesting, which is our fiat money system. And it is a way they can cook the books of loosh on you. They can say, all right, this year, this election cycle, you owe 4,000 units of loosh. Last election cycle, you only gave us 1,000 loosh points, but now you owe us 7,000 loosh points. And they take it immediately upon your vote, okay, which is part of the dark ritual system. Then every 4 years, you have the Olympics and all the other ritual dates in which they're doing specific intentional energy harvesting off of specific religions that are open to harvesting because they're designed to be opened at those times. Christmas, New Year's, et cetera, Hanukkah, any world's religions celebratory times. All those are targeted loosh system targeting, meaning those local communities, cultures, and countries are targeted during their particular times.
Now there's the next level, which is the harvesting of energy out of the ground and commodifying it for 30 to 40 to 50 years in the future. Anything that isn't already out of the ground and is made into a contract is loosh. They're harvesting the future loosh through the fiat currency system. So they're sending debt. You're already indebted through the commodities market alone. Indebted in loosh.
It just sounds like humanity on the higher dimensional planes making up rules as they go along, and it all is as the result because humanity doesn't realize that death isn't specifically real, and beyond death there is life and consciousness, and they're counting on people to be afraid of that unknown factor, and they're able to harvest that as a result with all of these little games and systems and institutions and societies or whatever.
Death isn't the point, it's the life that's the point. And that's the
right,
key
well,
thing
because that doesn't exist. But
no, it absolutely is. It's archived. They're creating an artificial recreation and mimicry of you that brings aspect shards and parts of you back into a fractalized system. So
yes, as long as we don't realize.
Hold on. It just to help you understand the greater picture of the debate that you're trying to get at. Life and death are equal in the universal eyes. When we are in a life, we're in a resolution mode. When we're in death, we're in a solution mode. Okay, functioning in and outside of the duality, making the triality of the higher self. If they want to harvest as much from you in your physical life, because they are harvesting the astral world just as equally.
Yes.
Okay. We have to understand loosh harvesting is just not the physical world, it's the astral world too, and the future generations that aren't even in the astral societies yet.
So speaking of the astral world, once the consciousness leaves the physical body and what we would call someone has died, and they at some point are aware like, wait, I don't have a body. Astral world speaking, they can continually be harvested as long as they continue to not be aware of who they are essentially. No. Okay.
So there are some beings that get caught in the in-between and they become apparatus and infrastructure of the harvesting system. So they're the in-between ghosts. Then there are those that pass on and go to their astral ancestors, and they have an ancestral tax over there. If you want to stay in the ancestral astral world, you are still paying loosh. It's whether you're consciously doing it as an aware being up there or as a soul family tithing to the powers that be up there. Because that's hold on. And then there are the future generation worlds who are also tithing energy to keep the construct going. You have to see that bigger picture. And when you try to simplify it, you have to understand surface, astral, and then Hollow Earth has the system that is receiving all the tithing and the harvesting of the intentional energy. And then it emanates it out through the earth and through the infrastructure of domination and control to continue the loosh harvesting on a greater scale at the physical world, subcrustal ocean worlds, astral worlds, and deep astral worlds, which can include the moon.
And those structures that you're referring to on all those dimensions, I guess the way I see it in that bigger, in that macro picture is all a part of, again, those of us conscious awareness beings not being aware of our true consciousness on all those levels. And until we
Hold on. The illusion is that we're not aware of us. We are aware of us. And part of the awakening is the aware of us and all the moments we were aware of us versus the moment we weren't aware of our awareness of us. It's a resolution of the consciousness paradox. It's something every awakening ascension species goes through. It's like a moment where the soup is too hot to eat and you got to let it cool.
Yeah, and well, the term awakening, though, again, I'm not even referring to that. I'm referring to more of a remembering.
That's why I've called this the Great Remembering, not the Great Awakening.
Oh, okay.
And in that journey of remembering, there are phases where you remember a variety of things, and then it fades out for a while, and then you remember a variety of things, and it fades out, and then you have big pattern recognition of the greater things that have been downloaded, and then you consciously download your intentional future process. which allows you to validate final awakeness, where the singular, the singular and the dual are simultaneously existing without competition on all the dimensions of awareness, which then creates the triality, the higher self interacting with all of those aspects.
And that one thing I do like,
guiding the potentialities, which is the blueprint, in the fetus womb. Go ahead, Monty.
What I do like is we're remembering, and so we've sort of done this before. Can you imagine what it would be like if we were doing this for the first time instead of remembering and doing the waking? The amount of mistakes we would do. So for me, it's a positive aspect of, no, we're remembering. People call the new age. Yeah, but it's mostly the new age is the bullshit they've put onto the old age to fuck it up.
So when you refer to the remembering, I wonder if we even have the same thing in mind, because when I refer to remembering, to the point where you remember that at that higher consciousness state that you are, that a lot of us really aren't really that aware of. We're aware of it in our higher consciousness, but we're not aware of it on any level in our humaneness. Most of us aren't, and we're reaching for it through those structures that were provided for us to keep us stuck in that cycle repetition.
Right, and trying not to make it up as we go and allowing an experience to happen. A lot of times when things get serious and shit's hitting the fan, the human brain fills in the blanks between experiences, which can greatly color the nature of experience away from what it actually is.
Yeah, so the importance of knowing thyself and knowing really what I think you refer to as great mystery, what I kind of refer to just basically as source, and that great spirit that comes out of great mystery, and all of our fractal connections or fractions of unique, individualized, free-willed, sovereign aspect beings. And that remembering to me is basically just remembering that we are all that equal part of that. And as soon as we start to remember and realign, consciously aware, bringing that intelligence at play, which isn't in the intellectual physical mind space, right? We get to the heart. So when we start to get into the macro volts, and when I end up using like your revocations, I end up the comedy hits me on these higher awareness moments that give me laughter beyond. It's like a body, or it's like a whole spirit body orgasm laughter. Because when you get to those macro volts and you start to experience it will vibrate, and that's not even close. I mean, that's the best word I can use, but it's beyond that. I mean, so
you're entering the higher frequency states of the physical body, and you brought the body along as the experience. Awesome. Now, something to add to just understand a little bit more here. What you were talking about is the later part of the remembering. The first parts of the remembering are, let's say you are in this awakening journey, and a year from now, you're driving in a car and you see a red light, and then you have a memory of seeing a car with red lights on it for the first time. Imagine, your first time you driving in a car and somebody has lights on, and you're like, huh? Where did that come from? And then another memory of getting into, your first airplane. First time I've seen that in a few 100,000 years, shit flying in the air. Or your first train.
Are you referring to like from past lives, like the first time you were?
Yes, from a past life. This is something bleeding through into the now.
Yep.
And then it happens enough times where you question where this is coming from. And as soon as you're able to question that consciousness state, more better things will come, like really positive sexual experiences that healed body, mind, and spirit. Okay? And those might come in a dream state, but you wake up from bed, you go, that wasn't a dream, that was a memory. And then you get more intense ones on these unique victories that you've had, defeating an enemy, overcoming a problem, and making a cure for sicknesses. And you begin remembering the different greatnesses that you've been, the different times you were champions to millions of others. And that's
Okay.
what sparks that journey to what you just talked about. Where
Okay,
you're
so I
ready to
guess
explore those higher realms. Yeah.
I guess that spark has been, I guess, with me my whole life, and that's part of my unique experience for sure. And when you refer to the memories, I see that as really just attachments to experiences that in some manner it can be positive or negative or neutral, in some manner held on to, and memories in the end are just experiences, and the true remembering is ultimately
another macro experience,
just one after another until
one after another, and then until it's all done, and then the all done is another unique macro experience of being all done.
Well, and also coming into, I guess, part of an awareness that I think is part of maybe what I would refer to as awakening is this isn't our only experience. There's infinite possibilities, and many of us have so many attachments and memories of life after life, millennia after millennia, and being harvested or quote unquote imprisoned or whatever, enslaved, that we think we have to keep coming back to resolve something, and there's nothing to resolve other than remembering, period. And I'm just laughing on the inside because I feel so good that I get to speak, because I don't get to have these conversations. So bless you and thank you for at least just allowing me to speak.
Awesome. You're an awesome person to talk to.
Well,
so is our we could have a life that is fully deja vu in that sense.
That's what it feels like often with me, and Andrew has helped me learn to become that unentangled witness
Observer
of all the entanglements, and I'm finally learning how to be like, oh wait, I don't want to get wrapped up in this, and then like the rope just unravels, and I'm just kind of that awareness now, and it's getting easier and easier. But this kind of conversation seems to be my bliss, and talking in groups, and even I don't have to feel like I'm right, but I want to share as much as I can with my experience and have other people start to tap into really what Andrew, what I feel like you've been trying to do since the short time that I've really followed you, maybe a year. But no, I have so much to say, and I become speechless at the same time.
It's okay. Have you read the book yet? Have you been able to read the book yet?
I'm sorry, I have not. I made a big move. I've been doing a lot of traveling, and I finally got settled. I'm waiting for my daughter to get back in school, and that's a possibility. But
I think you should read the book. You're ready.
You're ready.
I'm ready. Yeah. Well, because I mean, some of the books, I've read a lot of books through the years, but I'm trying not to attach to anything. I'm taking, maybe this will ring a bell, Andrew, but I'm taking gems of wisdom along the path, and every exit off ramp I take, I find a gem, I find some wisdom, and I try and apply it, and I try and reapply it, and I practice, and finally discerning within oneself, not using anything outside of myself, finally learning, you are not who you think you are. So let's start getting to know yourself again.
There you go. And that journey to getting to know yourself can be speed bumps and thunderstorms, or it can be glitter and glare. Okay.
Well, and everything
in between. Exactly.
But I do have to say, like echoing Monty and everyone else, I'm really tired, and this experience, maybe this is truly my last hurrah to do whatever it is I'm supposed to do to share my riches, my gems, my whatever knowledge or wisdom. But the more I get a chance to just speak, I guess, I don't want to say my truth. I just want to be like that truth that's coming from that. I refer to the heart space, that higher intelligence, that I'm vibrating now. So I'm blissful.
Well, Lady of Bliss, we have another caller. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, Lisa.
Robert.
Bye-bye.
We have Sir Santo of Australia.
Queensland.
Santo, you got a signal to unmute.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, good. You know what I find hilarious is that the show got serious.
It does that. You're a first-time caller, first-time listener.
Yeah, because I thought I can't be funny, but now it's getting serious. This is good. It's funny, but
that's what we do. You've seen enough shows. That's what we do. We start out funny. We go for an hour and a half. Then we slip in some series because the alphabet agencies stop listening.
Carrot and stick, and mention the word loosh, and woof, you're in.
All the ears turn. Exactly.
Exactly. And it was the loosh, because I'm in the car and I'm running around. We're in lockdown here, and it's sort of zombie mask land, and I was catching bits and pieces. And when the loosh conversation started, I thought, it reminds me of yesterday when you did the show yesterday, and you kind of messed with my neurons, because when that lady called about get the jab, and you said, hey, think about it. How important is your job? Get the jab if you need, if you need to keep your job. And I started thinking then, how messed are we really? Because what I liked was you started talking about the fear component, but more importantly, this kind of Chris program, the eugenics, the real story of what's going on. Mm-hmm. So to me, it immediately made me think about the whole Anunnaki and the story of how messed up we already are. Mm-hmm. So are we so messed up already that this next layer is just another layer of messing up, that it almost creates this blockage in most people to unravel from you could say, a synthetic version of ourselves? How messed up were we before this? That's the question. So as a species, what is happening in the so-called quote unquote eugenics agenda now? Were we already eugenicized, for want of a better word, quite heavily in our DNA as a species?
Yes, lineages were eugenicized over many generations of shit going on, whether the wars or whatever else was particularly going on at those times. And then there was purposeful genetic manipulation and selective breeding done between lineages over the last 40,000 years that are just truly vile and evil. And then there's the fact that there's still 138,000 individual human lineages on this world, but over 940,000 human lineages out there in the galaxy. And so, these 100 plus thousand that are here are the ones everyone else in the galaxy wants, because they have the fixes in the gene pool that made so many other species made mistakes by taking on the wrong gene pool, which gave them access to conscious time travel.
Okay, so there's so many combinations and permutations, but it sounds like a rich pool of sort of creative genes sitting here on this planet. But did most of us come under the radar? Like when you say lineages, when you talk about the sort of bloodlines, are they worse off or better off than those that came through, say, indigenous families?
Genetically, they're better off. Karmically, they're technically worse off. But that's why they're putting the karma on us. Okay? Where they're at, we could be in a handful of a couple weeks of the system being turned off, the harvesting system turned off, and it's being directed back at us. And it would not be hard to turn those systems the opposite way, so that instead of our intention lose constantly being harvested away, it's being sent back to us as a collective energy.
Well, this kind of understanding, wisdom, whatever word you want to use, it's really interesting, because this program that's going on, it triggers us. I don't want this synthetic, sort of whatever it is, RNA put into my system, because it could do some damage. Are we kind of a little bit simplistic in the way we're approaching the current trauma that's been unloaded onto us? And can we, because why I say this is because I remember back in the 70s, when the East met the West, And in the West, like Australia, the US, all these yogis and all these so-called spiritual yogis coming out. And the big thing was the vegetarian concept, because it didn't exist in the West. And these yogis come out, and then you sit down and you see they're eating a steak. And you go, what the hell? You're the, aren't you the sort of example in that? And they transcended it. And this word of, kind of tricky transcendence started to float, and people trick themselves sometimes into thinking that they've transcended it. So if somebody says, I'm not worried about the jab, is it just a choice and a state of mind? Or are you still accepting?
Will it do something to you? If you have the karmic implications of COVID, yes. If you don't, no. What are the karmic implications individually for you?
So it comes down to know yourself.
Yeah. That moment where I told that lady, your ideology is stopping you from doing what you love. There's something wrong with the ideology then.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting but mind-boggling issue to consider, because it's a catch-22, because we can trick ourselves into thinking that it's okay when it isn't. So it's like walking into a wall in the dark, and you go, well, it might be there, it might not be.
You can flip that where, like, I'm not going to get it because I don't think it is okay. But if you've done your karmic resolution, it is, because it won't have effect on you. And I just remembered, 16 months ago, Andrew and David pointed out, it's the gift that keeps on giving. And so, like, you've got COVID itself, and then you've got the jab, and it's still linked to a karmic resolution experience. And so if you've done your work, you won't be affected by it.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct,
it's kind of like, it's kind of like a cosmic placebo.
Or we live in a placebo. I've said this before. We live in a placebo-based reality.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, it is mind kind of, you don't want to think about it too much, because then you stay awake.
And then they've got you. As long as they've got you spending chemical energy on it, they've got you into their mind control program.
Yeah. Instead of the mind, what does your heart tell you, Santa?
My heart goes thump thump, going, I have no idea sometimes. But there's a level of vulnerability that you need to allow, but that level of vulnerability that doesn't create this kind of unprotected, sort of stomp all over you, is a tricky exercise in today's world, because being sovereign is just a statement until you're in an ecosystem that says, good luck. We're going to lock you down. We're going to do this. It becomes quite a challenge to accept all of the imposition and still have that sovereign, grounded state. I feel the ecosystem you're in actually does affect a lot. So for me, living in the mountains in a rainforest is very different to coming down into the soup into zombie land.
Yes.
And I try to be the same person, but I can feel all this imposition around me, and it helps to be in the rainforest or go back to nature, recalibrate when I'm in that ecosystem. So I think it's very subjective, and even at an individual level, it's very dependent upon which side of the bed and which ecosystem you're in. Sometimes generically,
what placebo sugar pill you took?
Exactly. Yeah.
The
exactly.
red pill, and you can go back and wake up tomorrow, or take the blue pill, and I can show you a new world. No, it's the other way around.
Exactly.
Anyway, go watch The Matrix. Now there's black pills and blah blah blah. I think the pills are the problem.
Yes, the pill is the problem. You do not need the pill to make the change.
So in the next book, the story exactly, the virtual pill. But in the next book, I'd like to, because it's exciting, that book, because it just opens up so many ways of looking at things. The whole Anunnaki story and how they got lured, and they're even using in mainstream media now the carrot and stick term. They're actually telling us. They're telling us they're doing draconian measures. They're telling us they're doing carrot and stick. So it's in our face. But I'm looking forward to the next chapter because I really like the way the Anunnaki story traversed so many millions of years and then, whoops, false gods. And it's like, wow, what a transformation. Is there a relationship, another chapter of these false gods in the current narrative? Or is it a separate chapter now? In other words, script writers fired, we're on a new timeline. That chapter is all over? Or is it a rinse and repeat where it's just a different version of the same thing? Anunnaki 2.0.
So it's actually a little bit of all of that. The Anunnaki broke into many breakaway species, civilizations. So their civilization from what it was then to what it is now is fractured into at least 25 separate groups who have followed their own DNA expression. So they're not even though they may have been originally Anunnaki, their DNA is so different they're not Anunnaki anymore. And the ones that were the purists are the ones that stayed entangled with the multidimensional beings here, or stayed entangled with the bloodlines here because it was their master creation they couldn't let go.
So can we feel comfortable that since the audit, they've been fired, it's up to us now? It's up to us
there's certain ones that can't be fired. They're the only ones that know how to run the system. You know, like in the old idea of there's a corporations have the living memory. That's the employees that have been through the ups and the downs of decades of work.
Yeah.
They need living memory. They have to have that here. And unfortunately, the ones that have the living memory are the ones we can't fully trust. Okay.
You don't want a Walt Disney or a Steve Jobs event to happen where like the main creator died and the company goes to shit.
Yeah, but have we been lazy in that we haven't taken on apprenticeships in how to actually run the show here? And so then we whinge when these old crusty archons just keep running the show because they keep reminding us we don't know how to run the show. So are we just deer in headlights now going, let's hope the show runs itself, or are we meant to go, we got to run the show?
We're at a point where we're all going, man, this show really sucks. Let's go create our own. Right. I don't think those archons were right. What do we got to do to make our own show? Hey, Santo, let's make a new show. Monty, Bruce, let's all get together and make a new show.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Rewrite the script.
Yeah. Rewrite the script.
You can, and it's sort of manifested on the internet by look how big YouTube is. We're on YouTube now, even by saying the word cunt 400 times. But if I can use Stephen Crowder as an example, he is the legacy media are threatened by him because he's doing better numbers and just better numbers. Because he's like got 4 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm not sure the numbers that he has for his mug club, and he keeps getting views. It was on election night, it was the highest rating election coverage on YouTube, and that's with CNN, NBC, CBS, and just all that bullshit because people are over it. And that's the other thing about a lot of people have realized, even subconsciously, this is shit. Let's go create our own. And so you're seeing a lot of independent stuff coming out because if you look back and last night I watched a Pink Floyd documentary. In the 70s, bands, you couldn't do anything without a record company. And now you just need a SoundCloud page and you can do the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I watched the Monterey documentary last night, and it's like, wow, what a different timeline. But I really like that, write the script. So I reckon Bruce
you're starting to break up. You're starting to break up really bad, Santo.
Script, and I'm going to let us know when the script's done, and we'll be. What do you think? I'm in a bad spot. Okay, guys, if really
Yeah,
great
we can't
catching
hear
up. See you
anything you're
guys.
saying. Okay.
Live long and
Bye.
prosper, Central.
Live long and
Yeah.
prosper. All right, guys, we're going to call it an end to the show. Monty, you want to give away for people to get a hold of you?
If you basically search engine Wafer Thin Entertainment, you'll find find it on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I've got my own personal Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to listen to me for 7.5. Yeah, hush, Santa, hush. If you want to listen to me for 7.5 hours, I read one of Bruce's books, recorded it, and released it commercially, which is Standout Ranch, no, Stardust Ranch, the incredible true story. So that's also up on the interwebs. If you want to listen to fuck me, what the hell's going on type of story. Because a friend of mine actually said, "Oh, what's the book about? Ghosts, aliens, and an 8,000-year-old time portal." So yeah.
Bruce, want to give away people to get a hold of you?
Yeah, Amazon.com, just Bruce McDonald, MacDonald, and get yourself a book. Stardust Ranch is a really good read, and I highly recommend it. It would be a nice companion to the Galactic Historian. And the Galactic Historian is also up on Amazon. It's on Andrew's KDB show.
So you all
Thank
know
you.
I am. You can go to my Amazon store, my Facebook, my YouTube, my Twitter, Andrew Bartzis Galactic Historian. Will get you all the information you need about me. And hold on one second. And if you want to be able to purchase the book, Galactic Historian, The World According to Andrew Bartzis, you can go to Amazon.com and get yourself a book and then ask yourself some questions on a future show. All right, Robert, take us away.
Each different bubble of reality is true.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma.
Nudge, nudge. It's the Holy Grail.
Improvise.
Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.
Hello, let's create, let's co-create, and let's change this world with love. No matter if you're from Alpha Centauri or Earth, we all began with the same birthing process. We live in a limited point of view. Living the mystical life daily is about striving for the unlimited point of view. Each day, each human being gets an infinite amount of choices. Living the mystical life daily is about facing obstacles and challenges. The level of awareness that you are working at means you have a responsibility to be equal with it. How does one truly let go of expectation? You can make the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to sleep sacred. The keys to success: choice, 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 and choice.